Jake Paul, maybe?
Easy. Easy.
Too
easy.
It's too easy.
Too easy.
That's right. Gervonta Tank Davis versus me, baby.
It's not over just because you fighting Jake Paul. Jake Paul ain't no type of demon. It's not like he about to go in there with Godzilla. You about to play around for 8 rounds, 2 minutes with a dickhead. You know what I mean? No disrespect. But, you know, with somebody that think they know how to fight. This is a still.
Thing has gone too far. Jake Paul is taking on Gervonta Tank Davis in an exhibition bout this November. The fight will be taking place in Atlanta between the cruiserweight and the 135-pounder. Nearly a 100-pound difference between the two guys. This is absolutely insane. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below.
And Jake Paul maybe. Easy. Easy. Too easy. It's too easy. Too easy. That's right. Gervonta Tank Davis versus me, baby, is not over at just because you fighting Jake Paul. Jake Paul ain't no type of demon. It's not like he about to go in there with Godzilla. You about to play around for 8 rounds. 2 minutes with a underscore. You know what I mean? No disrespect, but you know, with somebody that think they know how to fight, this is a still. Floyd Mayweather has finally broken his silence on the highly hyped bout between Gervonta Tank Davis and Jake Paul. In his first public comments, Mayweather didn't mince words, offering a critical assessment of the clash. He praised Tank Davis's exceptional power and skill, emphasizing that Davis is a formidable force in the ring. Regarding Jake Paul, Mayweather expressed skepticism about Paul's rapid rise in boxing, questioning whether his success is built on genuine skill or the spectacle surrounding his persona. Boxing has gone too far. Jake Paul is taking on Gervonta Tank Davis in an exhibition bout this November. The fight will be taking place in Atlanta between the cruiserweight and the 135-pounder. Nearly a 100-pound difference between the two guys. This is absolutely insane. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. Mayweather Jr. recently spoke out about Jake Paul, making it clear that the YouTuber-turned-boxer cannot truly compete with elite professional fighters. Mayweather emphasized that while Paul has generated attention and built a fan base, his skills do not match those of real champions who've spent years perfecting their craft. He further pointed out that if Davis has to face Jake Paul, it would have to be a fight purely for money, not credibility. According to Mayweather, such a matchup could risk damaging Tank's boxing legacy, as beating Paul adds nothing to his career, while losing would be disastrous. But Jake Paul, as of right now, for what he's doing, it's good for what he's doing, but once he fights a actual real fighter, it's going to be bad. Have you been impressed? But one thing I like about him, one thing I do like about him, he's selling it. He's selling it, and he's making good money, and he's entertaining. I like it. Is he? And Floyd, there were many people who believe you're the most talented fighter ever, period. So, whatever you say to this question, I think is important. Are you impressed? Does he have boxing ability, or is he just an entertainer who has a lot of fans and can promote a fight and has fought lesser opponents, or is he actually talented? As long as he continue to fight MMA guys and YouTubers, he's gonna continue to look good and shine. But once he fights a real fighter that can really fight, it's not gonna be that good. Boxing insiders are largely dismissing the Paul versus Davis exhibition as a misguided spectacle, not a true contest. British heavyweight Dave Allen labeled it foul, asserting that Davis could flatten Paul while both proceed in it for the money. Promoter Eddie Hearn echoed the skepticism, suggesting Davis may be more interested in payday than prestige, positing that he's half checked out of boxing and chasing cash over championship glory. If you do fight, what weight would it be at? 195. It would be an exhibition. Okay, so it was going to be an exhibition, not sanctioned, but no restrictions. You can knock each other out and underscore, like that. It was going to be at a catch weight of 195 pounds. 10 rounds, 3 minutes. I've been trying to figure this out. Why was I a Tank hater for wanting to see Tank go up 5 lbs to get some smoke with like Teofimo Lopez or something? I just wanted to see him go up 5 lbs and fight Teofimo Lopez. And all of you were saying you want Tank hurt. CHZ, you're a hater. You want him hurt? Then I'm convinced. Okay, he's too small, but he can fight Jake at 195. Meanwhile, Dave Allen has been vocal about the coming exhibition match between Paul and Davis, expressing skepticism about its legitimacy. He views the bout as a spectacle rather than a serious contest, highlighting the significant weight disparity. Paul is a cruiserweight while Davis is a lightweight. Allen believes this mismatch undermines the sport's credibility and detracts from meaningful matchups. He also commented on Moses Itama's progression, suggesting that facing seasoned opponents like Dillian Whyte is essential for Adama to prove himself at the elite level. Allen's insights reflect his commitment to preserving the integrity of boxing. This might be happening in an exhibition. Thing with Jake Paul, I think he's a good area tight level fighter, and that's a good level, and you can be proud of it. Do you know what I mean? It's good, but I mean the Mike Tyson fight I didn't like. The Chavez fight was just spherical because his 10-10-11 year passed his best up 6 tight divisions, but less of a problem cause Chavez wasn't in his 50s. Fighting the MMA guys. Again, he's fighting people that don't do the same, that they're not even in the same sport. But while they're a bit older, they're still not in the 50s. So all that stuff, I won't really watch any of it. I think I've watched one fight against Tommy Fury, the only professional boxer in and around his prime years, and he got beat. But I think his area is title level. I think he works really hard. I think he trains hard. And I don't think he's a bad fighter at all. I don't think he's a good fighter, but he's not a bad fighter for his experience. He's not bad at all. But Gervonta Davis is a lightweight. So by all means, if they make a few quid and nobody gets hurt, then great. But I certainly wouldn't be paying a penny to watch it. I think it's just absolutely ridiculous. Fark, who wants to watch an exhibition. John Davis is in his prime years. Why is he wasting his time? Why he's not having a rematch with the fellow he got his draw with? Why he's not fighting? Why he's not going up a weight and fighting Lopez and Garcia and them fighters? Why is he fighting Jay Paul in exhibition? I get them is great, but he's in the prime years. This is his best year. This is when he can become. Maybe you don't want to be an all-time great. Maybe you don't want to do all this. Boxing writer Keith Idk didn't mince words, calling the narrative of Davis ducking Jake Paul misleading. To frame the Paul fight as Davis dodging Roach would be inaccurate. The Roach rematch is Davis' legitimate mandatory obligation, not some evasion. IDK's point underscored the reality that the focus should remain on honoring existing agreements over sensational crossover bouts. Well, I think as we discuss this, we should use air quotes when we call it a fight, because I don't see how any athletic commission, in this case the Georgia Athletic and Entertainment Commission, could sanction this as a legitimate boxing match. I think it has to be treated as entertainment to some degree, because you can't put someone who's there 65 pounds apart in weight for the most part. Now, if you look at the cruiserweight limit and the lightweight limit, even if Jake Paul somehow got down to, let's just say 180, and I'm not sure that he'd be able to do that at this point because he's fought so high in weight. Let's just say he got down to 180, they're still 45 pounds apart in weight, and that's just not safe. So, if this were to be treated as some sort of, even though they're calling it an exhibition, a legitimate athletic event, I don't know how you could do that, because it's just not safe for someone that big and someone that small to fight each other. That's why they have weight classes. And I just don't understand. I do understand that Netflix is into tentpole events and people will watch this because they're into the spectacle of it all, and then it will draw eyeballs. But does anything that anyone pitches that people will watch, does that make it a good idea? Dana White has occasionally praised Jake Paul, particularly for his promotional abilities and contributions to the sport. In 2024, White acknowledged Paul's efforts in promoting fights and engaging audiences, stating that Paul is just trying to get attention and doesn't hate him. White also commended Logan Paul, describing him as brilliant for his role in bringing attention to the sport. Despite their differences, White recognized the Paul brothers' impact on combat sports. Jake said that I snort cocaine, that I'm a cokehead. My rebuttal to that was, I'll tell you what, you can test me for the next 5 years for cocaine. If I can test you randomly for performance answering drugs the next 2 years. And I never got a response on that other than when me and Jake Paul have gone back and forth with each other. I've never said anything to defame him. And then when he was talking about his fights being fixed, I don't think that people are actually saying that they're predetermined outcomes, that they're fixing the fights, with predetermined outcomes. Saying if you're fighting a 60-year-old _ a guy that can barely walk to the _ ring, right, and almost died 2 months before that, it's almost like a predetermined outcome. That's what they're saying. Jake Paul is positioned to defeat Davis in their coming exhibition bout on November 15, 2025 at State Farm Arena in Atlanta. Despite Davis's impressive 3,001 record, the significant weight and size disparity between Paul is approximately 65 pounds heavier and stands 6 feet 1 inch in compared to Davis's 5 feet 5 inches 1/2 in, giving Paul a substantial physical advantage. While Davis is known for his knockout power and speed, the exhibition nature